So we wanted to get Kael's story from pretty much the beginning of your music career, you know, the official career, to where you're at right now.
Okay.
How you got there, and you know, just kind of lead us along.
It's a pretty unique story. It's a lot of twists and turns, a lot of being in the right place at the right time, proper positioning, and taking chances basically with me. Started playing bass at about the age of 15. Originally I picked up a guitar. You know, I wanted to play music, but I didn't really know what instrument I was going to go for. I picked up a guitar, was playing that for about 2 weeks, and it just wasn't me. You know, I didn't feel that connection. And then a friend of mine came over, brought his bass over, and I grabbed onto that, started playing, and I was like, oh.
Right.
As soon as my hand hit the thick strings on there and feel the bass in the chest. And it's one of those things too, like even going back when I was listening to music growing up, before I really understood what each instrument was doing, I was focusing in on bass lines. And I didn't even realize that that's what I was doing. But then once I realized, oh, that's the bass, I was like, oh, okay, then I put two and two together. So I've been focusing on the bass lines my whole life, just didn't know that I was doing that. Most people always assume probably check out the guitars and maybe the vocals and whatnot, but I was always listening to Nicky Six and Gene Simmons driving on that bass line, Ian Hill from Judas Priest. So I started playing about then, did several bands growing up, a lot of stuff that basically, you know, was no bigger than like the regional type stuff, did some small tours here and there. So leading up to the whole Death Punch thing, it was weird. I was getting to a point where, you know, I'd done the smaller band thing before, you know, had done the van tours, loved doing it, great times, but I was getting to a point where, you know, I felt like maybe it was time to start focusing on something else. My heart wasn't telling me that, but my head was telling me, you know, hey, you know, you're getting up there, what are the chances of you doing the dreams that I've been having, you know? Yeah, at this point, you know, I mean, what are the odds? I was bartending in Vegas, bartending the whole time, from the time I moved out to Vegas. I've been bartending for, I guess, about 8 years. Pretty much when I moved out to Vegas, I got bartending jobs. And I was making good money, you know. The plan at that point was, rather than, you know, continue following a dream that, up to that point, had been met with limited success, I was going to take the reins and start putting money aside. I'm a huge scuba diver, total into oceanic conservation, preservation of wildlife and whatnot. I wanted to move down to Belize and open up like a small hotel/bar right there on the beach. I went down there and visited. Loved it, great scuba diving, just it was really cool. And I saw the opportunity where if I were just to bust my ass for a while, that I could put that money aside and go towards a concrete dream that I actually could do with the, you know, the right amount of money behind me. So I was going to focus on that. I literally put all my stuff on Craigslist. Everything was up for sale. I was done. I was like, okay, I'm going to start putting all the money aside, you know, working towards this goal. I ended up selling my Ampeg SVT2 bass head on Craigslist. So somebody out there has got that part of the story. Young kid in Vegas reminded me. I think he's about 16 or 17. His dad came over and picked it up. So that was sold. Ended up going to a System of a Down concert at the Palms, at the a venue called the Pearl there. Yeah, I was watching it and just loving it. And I was watching those guys, and then I turned around to look at the crowd. I used to always do this thing where I would like look at the crowd and like, oh, you know, someday that's going to be me. You know, from seeing Ozzy to everybody, I would always do that. Just look around, take it in. Like someday you're going to be here. So that night when I did it, the proverbial white light like hit me. Right. Up until this point, I'd been trying to like, I didn't know any of the guys in Death Punch, but I knew like through circle of friends, people who knew them. So I'd been putting my name in through friends at that point. And I never really heard anything. At the time, I didn't know. Basically what they were doing was writing and recording American Capitalist, and then once they were done with that, they were going to focus on finding a bass player. Right. So I found out several months before this whole thing happened, but I hadn't heard anything, so I was like, yeah, again, you know, what are the chances of this happening? And something told me, you know, everything you've ever wanted in life that you've gone after, you got. You know, I've got a real strong drive, and if I want something, I go after it and I get it. And there's really, I mean, not a whole lot of disappointment in my life, honestly. I'm very, very blessed in that sense. So that night, you know, I was kind of lit from drinking Crown Royal at the System of a Down show. So I was all pissed off, went home, fuck this. It's like, I'm getting a hold of somebody directly. So that night I sent Jason Book a message on Facebook, of all things. Yeah, just blind. here you go. I found his page. I saw that we had some mutual friends on there. Yeah, I was like, hey, you know, my name's Chris. I'm in Vegas. I know you guys are looking for a bass player. Look no further. I'm your guy. All I'm looking for is an audition. Just let me get my foot in the door. That's all I'm asking. I said, check your mutual friends. Ask those guys. So that very next day, Jason sent me a message back, and he's like, well, that was very forward, but I like it. He goes, how are your vocals? Because we're looking for somebody that can do background vocals, you know? And again, the stuff that I'd done leading up to this, I had done a lot of lead vocals playing bass. It was, you know, a dream that I had that I was following, but never really took off the ground. I always felt it in myself. I just never had that opportunity. No one actually was like, here you go, see what you can do with it. Jason Hook did that. He got back to me, how are your vocals? I sent him some demo stuff that I'd done with the previous project, and it was stuff that I'd written and done all the vocals for. And I was like, here you go, this is a perfect example of what I can do. So he got it, they listened to it, enjoyed the vocal tone qualities that I had. So they got back to me. It was like, you know, can you do we're doing auditions this weekend. How's Friday or Saturday work for you? And this is like Tuesday, I think it was. And I was thinking, well, if I wait till Saturday, I've got a whole extra day to practice. So yeah, I'm open on Saturday. So literally from Tuesday until Saturday, I played No One Gets Left Behind, Way of the Fist, and Salvation. Literally probably 10 hours a day for those next 4 days. I was like, you know, I'd done some other auditions for some other bands, and it was either like a lack of preparation or I just wasn't into it, but I ended up obviously not getting those gigs. But this one, I wanted it. I was like, I'm going to practice to make sure I have everything down. It's not going to be on me if I don't get it. I'm going in there knowing I've done everything possible to impress these guys and get this opportunity. So again, practice, learned all the vocals, came in. When I walked in, it was Jason, Jeremy, and Zoltan. Ivan wasn't there at that point because he wanted to let the musicians kind of, you know, get the musical vibe, and then if those three were into it, then, you know, he would introduce himself, because they all work great together. There's a lot of trust, a lot of faith in there, and if those three are into what I bring to the table musically, Ivan just had to be me for the personality to make sure everything's cool there. As you can see, I'm very charming. I walked in, they wanted to play Way of the Fist first, but that's another one of those right-hand things. I was like, let's start off.
Warm up.
Yeah, can I warm up? Let's do No One Gets Left Behind first. And stepped up to the mic, fully confident, belted out the background vocals that if you come out to the Share the Love stuff, you hear me doing. Very confident, you know. Belted it out, and that first chorus, the three of them, I didn't know it at the time. They told me later, but the three of them kind of were all looking at each other and like, I think this is probably the guy. So then we finished up the next three songs, and immediately they started talking. They were like, what's your likes and interests? What do you watch on TV, you know, for touring stuff? Talking about Jason's a huge military channel buff. Right. I mean, literally, I didn't realize how much he likes it, but it's a 12-hour-a-day thing. Right. So yeah, they were asking, yeah, we watch military channel. I was like, oh yeah, you know, I enjoy, you know, World War II history, that sort of thing. And he was like, yeah, okay. Okay, but then they wouldn't really say anything, so that was a Saturday. I get a message from Zoltan like Monday or Tuesday, again via Facebook. I know there was an email on this one. He's like, hey, this is the list of songs we're going to be doing during the festival dates. You might want to jump on and go ahead and start learning. Again, not telling me that I had the gig yet. So I was like, God damn, it's like, ooh, I'm feeling good, I was feeling confident, but at the same time, you know, again, what are the chances of me stepping in off the street and walking into this game? So it's like, I'm playing it safe, I'm going to keep my tone down. But again, I jumped on the songs, I had them all learned by Friday. And Friday, or Thursday, Zoltan called me up and was like, hey, you know, Ivan wants to meet you. Can we do dinner Friday night? You know, bring out the family, whatever, you know, come on out. And at that point, I started feeling really good. And then I found out at PF Chang's, with dinner with Ivan and Zoltan that I had the gig. So, yeah, longest week of my life.
Right.
Longest week. God, that was
one that shows you what perseverance and positive attitude. You know, I mean, that does make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, you put out those positive vibes are going to come back to you. You know, and people are nice to those that they like. And, you know, I try to be that guy. I'll never be one of those guys that's, you know, when the fans come up, I've seen it before. Fighters, I've seen, you know, in the UFC and again Muay Thai and whatnot. And there was one guy, I won't say his name, but kind of inspired, you know, me to be like, that'll never happen to me. He walked up, some fans were like, oh hey, you know, we love you. And he was like, I like his name. I was like, he'd be fucking in jail.
Right.
For fighting in the street. If they want to listen to these kids coming out. So you'll never see that. I completely appreciate it. Only time we don't like being bothered is if I'm eating. You know, just wait until I'm done. Hang out. I'll come up after that. Yeah. Just give me that little amount of time.
And you know,
most of the time people expect it. In that sense, people have some level of common sense, you know.
It's kind of appropriate that you come in during the American Catholic record, just because the theme of the record is very much the theme of what's happened with you.
Yeah, completely.
You have capitalized on the situation that's coming to us. You cannot let anything really destroy you.
Oh no.
There you go.
No, just when I was at my lowest, had all that stuff on Craigslist, gave it that one nice shot.
Never give up.
Never. And it's not even in regards to music, it's whatever. Listen to that inner voice. It's there. Mine spoke volumes that night to me at the concert. And, you know, anytime I've listened to that voice and followed and gone after it, you know, positive things happen. I'm sure there's some ups and downs along the way, but stay true to yourself and pay attention to that inner voice. It's there.
Well, I want to thank you for your time.
No worries, thank you so much. I shake your hand, but I just coughed on it, so. Well, gotcha. See, again, respectful.